Early in the morning.
What's going on, people? I miss your boy Cam Topical Juice, and we are back with an update video regarding the Southport Massacre, I'm gonna call it. I still don't even know how to feel about all this. Obviously, I'm so just emotionally drained. I'm so sad, I'm so distraught, I'm so upset. The victims have been named and we've seen their faces. The killer's been named, we've seen his face. And I find it so interesting how or why they actually released the name and the face of the victim. And I'm happy they did, because naturally it does put to rest, well, maybe it doesn't put to rest, but it proves that he wasn't an immigrant. Yeah, so all this talk about borders this and borders that. Now, I'm not saying I disagree or agree with the whole we should close our borders business. I know the people that do often fight that for that side, you know, very usually right wing, very nationalist. I'm not right wing, I'm not a nationalist, I'm central, you know what I'm saying? I view certain things this way, view certain things that way. I don't have an affinity to England, you know, I'm born and raised in London, the heart of the whole city, and I don't have an affinity to England, so I don't really care about all this immigration stuff as much as other people do, you feel me? But I find this very, very interesting because I'm keen to see what people have to say now, knowing the fact that it is not an immigrant. Or obviously he's an immigrant because he wasn't, like, his family did immigrate here at some point, but he was born in Cardiff, literally born in Britain, British raised, moved to Lancashire, didn't come over from a boat somewhere, wasn't being watched by the MI6, his name wasn't Ali something or other. So guys, I'm not even gonna ask you to like the video and subscribe. This is just one of them subjects and topics that I just feel so weird. I just feel so, spiritually and energetically, I feel so low right now. So let's just get straight into this video. So, as you can see on your screen right now, it says, judge reveals he decided to name Southport stabber Axel Rudakubana in bid to stop fresh wave of idiotic rioting, as knife suspect appears in court accused of murdering 3 little girls at Taylor Swift themed dance class. Judge Andrew Menery condemned the idiotic rioting which has broken out since the attack, and said he named Rudakubana to fill the information vacuum exploited by others who are up to mischief. He said the idiotic rioting going on at the moment is, in part, fed by the nonsense online that feeds on the vacuum. The judge explained what he described as an exceptional decision against imposing reporting restrictions sought by both prosecution and defence, which would have granted the defendant anonymity until he turns 18 next Wednesday. He was turning 18 next Wednesday, so it's hardly flipping all groundbreaking stuff. We were going to expose his name next week anyway. It says he said he had to balance a risk to the defendant's family and initial risk to him while settling into custody with the public interest in accurately reporting his identity. First things first, I don't give a fuck about any risk towards him. As far as I'm concerned, when he gets to jail, if someone hot waters him or peels his skin back, I don't care, because he deserves what's getting to him. However, I do understand the family. The family aren't always responsible for what someone does. A lot of his family members may be completely innocent. They may be distraught and sickened by what their brother's done or nephew's done, or, you know what I'm saying, son's done. So I do understand protecting the family's identity, because you'll get people out there who think, that's the family, let's go for them, and that's not right. Go for him as much as you want, but until we know a bit more about the story, we have to protect the family, so I understand that. This is a picture of the killer. This was him as a child, him going to school, right? This is him as a normal kid. He looked like any other person from the ends. Like, where did it go so wrong for him? I don't understand. As you can see, he said delaying reporting the Rudakubana name until next week could even provide an additional excuse for a fresh round of public disorder. I agree with that. I understand that revealing the defendant's identity will cause concern and distress to his family, but their identity is generally already known within the local community, and much about them has already been widely published online, in print media and on television reports. Now, this beautiful young angel is called Bebe King. She was one of the victims in the attack. Rest in peace, my love. I just can't believe it. She was 6 years old. This beautiful queen goes by the name of Elsie Stancombe. She was aged 7. She was fatally wounded by this disgusting, disgusting monster. And the last victim here is called Alice Da Silva. She's aged 9 and she's the final victim. Guys, these victims are 6, 7 and 9. This is literally, it makes me feel sick. And I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you in terms of the explanation. Because as you can see here, Rudakubana was born to Rwandan parents in Cardiff in 2006 before moving to the village of Banks in Lancashire in 2013. He is accused of carrying out the attack that killed all 3 of the girls and injured many others. Up until now, the teenager's identity could not have been revealed for whatever, etc, etc. Far-right mobs took to the streets of Southport and other major UK cities this week after a fake news website spread misinformation about the identity of the suspect. Now guys, I need to retract some things that I said in my previous video. Now, I didn't say this was fact. If you actually go and watch my previous video, I said this is what the internet is saying, and it's dangerous because people can run with this. People can just run with this fake news that the MI6 have been watching this guy. I've said that. I said that in the video. I reported it because it's obviously already out there, but I didn't report it as fact. If I had reported it as breaking news and I'm the only source and the first source, then I would take responsibility. But the internet had already gone wild with these theories, and I put it in my video to show you what's out there. That was fake news. That name about Ali something or other was fake. The fact that people were saying that he'd been watched by the MI6 and he was an immigrant and he came from this, that and the other, that was fake. And this is what I'm saying, guys. We need to be so vigilant. We need to be so careful. Why is it that that spread so fast? That misinformation, it spread and caught like wildfire. And what happened? Riots. What happened? Tommy Robinson's getting a slap on his back for saying that, yeah, this is going to happen in England. We're going to have people from the Islam faith and they're going to do this, this and this. But we now know he was British born and raised. So where do we go from here? Because people who are like very nationalistic, I know you guys wanted to believe it was an immigrant. I know you guys were desperate to believe that it was someone who came over from our borders and we need to protect and fight back. It wasn't. It was any other you born in Britain. It could have been my cousin. It could have been my nephew. It could have been my brother. It could have been my friends. Born and raised in Britain, British raised. So where do we go from here? I haven't got the answers. I'm genuinely asking the question. What do we think? I bet you now people will assume that he was radicalized. He was radicalized by some sort of niche or prolific and prominent terrorist organization that used him as an agent to fulfill their sick task or mission. That's what the next theory will be. He was radicalized. And he could have been. I'm not even ruling that out, because what is going through a 17-year-old's mind when you stab 11, 12, 13 people and you murder 3 of them? We can put to rest now that he came over on a boat, he was being watched by the feds. That is bullshit. So what's our next theory? It's either he was radicalized or mental health. Mental health. He was having an episode, a delusion. He may have had schizophrenia. He could have been bipolar. He could have been having an episode. We don't know. He might have been on drugs. I was doing drugs at that age. Only a year later was I regularly having drug-induced psychosis. I was talking to people that weren't there, guys. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I was having full-blown conversations with people that didn't exist before I snapped out of it and was like, yo, what the I swear I was. And then 5 minutes later, I'm doing it again. Do you understand? I've literally made myself psychotic before on drugs. So we don't know what the answer is here. All we know is 3 beautiful girls have been taken from us. And 8 others are in the hospital, and some have been discharged, but 8, whatever, 7 or 8 others got injured. Some adults got injured in this. That's all we know. I just think it's so dangerous how quickly misinformation spreads, and then you've got riots off the back of fake news. So now the real news has come out that he was born in Britain, inside our borders. What do we do then? Where do we look? People will say, oh, he was influenced. Anywhere he was influenced from, anything he was influenced by, it had to have come from within our borders. Yeah, it may have happened. Yeah, he may have been influenced by something online and this, that, and the other, but ultimately, everything was within our borders. The internet he used to get influenced off, if it was from our borders. Everything was within Britain. So where do we go from here? Everyone wanted to know the race of the suspect. He's black. He's from Rwanda. Was that what I said? Kenya, Rwanda, I think it was. Yeah, Rwanda. For me, I don't know the history of Rwanda, but I'm not familiar with any terrorist organizations in Rwanda. There could be, but I'm not familiar with that. So I don't know, but I just think it's very important now to be very careful about what we choose to latch onto. I'm just so glad that in the last video, I didn't confirm anything. Yeah, I had someone in my comments. By the way, I couldn't read all those comments. Thank you, by the way, to all the people that engaged with me in that video, but due to the mental I felt that video so much I couldn't even read the comments. I probably read about 10 comments, 20 comments. I'm so sorry if you commented and I missed it. Usually I'm very good with comments, but I saw one comment saying, Okay, you may not want to talk about this, or you may not have the answers, but those who are well educated and have done their research know it's this, this and this. You clown, you were completely wrong. So all this education, all this research you did, you were flat out wrong. And that's why you just have to be so careful about how you report things and this, that and the other. I was wrong about, well, I wasn't wrong because I never actually said anything was facts, but some of the things that I put out there that was already out there was wrong. I just think we just have to be very careful. The most important thing now is understanding the why. Because if we can understand the why and the real motive, then we can hone in and tailor how we approach this going forward so we can avoid it in the future. It's so typical human nature that the worst things have to happen for us to learn from them. Grenfell, anything you want. Grenfell is a prime example. A bunch of rich twats who lived opposite and said, ugh, that building over there is an eyesore. I'm so rich and entitled and I've got a diamond encrusted spoon up my arse that I have the right to say, you know what, let's change the way that building looks. It was their fault that building then lit up and killed all those people. I'm not saying specifically rich people, but that was the catalyst, you understand? I know some of you lot, especially you nationalistic lot, I know you lot really want to believe it's someone outside our borders and want to believe that people within our own borders can't do stuff wrong. But the country and Britain in general is fundamentally wrong and fundamentally broken due to the people at the top. They will always push an agenda for a reason. At the moment it's trans is the thing that they want to push. Before it was blacks, BLM, then it was homosexuals, this, that and the other. Yeah, there's always an agenda. I'm not cussing people for being trans, I'm not cussing people for being gay, and I'm sure as hell ain't cussing people for being black. That's my community. But that shows you how honest I am. That even though BLM, that was meant to benefit me, all this awareness about black stuff and black history and black systemic racism, which is very real, and all these things, it was still an agenda. It was an agenda pushed by them for a specific reason. Everything's an agenda. Now we've got this agenda and that agenda. Now we've got the immigration agenda. They do it because there's every little thing to divide us. You don't open your eyes, guys. Open it. Open it. Don't listen to them. Don't fall for it. See what these places do. England, America, wherever you want, they do. It's the same tactics. Either way, guys, rest in peace to those beautiful angels, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay vigilant. Peace.